One of my new favorite toys to play with here in Photoshop is the tree filter. It's a great way to add kind of site-specific entourage to your project. It's very simple. Just go to the tree pull-down menu, and under render, there is in fact a whole menu for tree. And this menu is really pretty straightforward. One of the coolest things you can do is change the light direction. If you just drag the slider over, you can make the light come in the direction which is appropriate to your project. There are other fun things that you can do. You can change the thickness of branches. You can modify the size of leaves. And then under the Advanced tab, you can even change the color of the leaves if you wanted to, say, make it look like it was autumn or something like that. Finally, if there is a particular kind of tree that you wanted to use, you can choose different types of trees. And of course, these are realistic trees. They are not sized to anything in particular. Photoshop documents are not to scale, but they are awfully nice to add to your drawings. Anyway, to add it, you just click OK. And here it is in my drawing, and I can just move it around. By the way, I have deselected Auto Select up at the top of my interface here in Photoshop, just so that I don't accidentally start grabbing the wrong layer. And you can resize this object so that it's appropriate for whatever you're doing in your project. And you can copy it using Alt or Command on a Mac to make multiple copies. The other thing that you can do that's kind of fun now that you have this tree in your project, some people prefer kind of more of a silhouette. That's really simple to make. You can just go to Layer, Layer Style, and there's an option for Color Overlay. And this is how we've made shadows, for example, for scale figures. On this menu, we can just choose a color. I could choose black, which is pretty dramatic, or I could go with kind of a gray effect here. There we go. That's pretty nice. That's not quite dark enough for my tastes. Perfect. And note that you can go back later on in the Layers menu here. Just double-click on where it says Color Overlay, and you can modify the color later on. Finally, if I want to, say, I don't know, have several trees overlapping, you see how they don't really blend with each other, and the blending modes don't work when you have these layer styles on. You will have to rasterize this layer style. Once you do that, then you'll have access to all these layer blending modes, and you can get some nice effects to make them look like the trees are overlapping. So add some trees to your project, make them photorealistic if you want, or make them silhouette trees as depicted. And you can even apply a gradient overlay if you want them to fade into black and white.